Welcome back to the channel, everyone. CryptoTakeOver here, coming back with a Bitcoin cryptocurrency video for you today. We are taking a look at a few articles. We have an article here. Some Russian officials are being forced to sell their crypto by April 2021. I'm not too sure what's going on here. We'll take a look at that article there in a second. And then we have a next article here. Bitcoin mover. Bitcoin newbies get first volatility lesson as old pros limit FUD. Yeah, and we've seen how the FUD has been increased. FUD meter definitely off the Richter scale as of yesterday. Bitcoin right now sitting right at about $33,000 or so. Definitely trying to recover from its recent sell-off, but we're going to go ahead and dive on into these articles, take a look at the charts, and then we'll continue on from there. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, if you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way y'all can stay updated every single video that we make on this channel each and every single day as the Bitcoin prices continue to rally. Okay, some Russian public officials have to disclose crypto holdings while other officials are obligated to hold zero crypto by April 1st, according to new law. Russia adopted a cryptocurrency law in January. By its legislation does not approve its direct answer to some questions, including how local officials should deal with their crypto holdings. There are at least two other legal initiatives requiring Russian public officials to declare or even get rid of their cryptocurrency holdings entirely in 2021. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a decree obligating some public officials to disclose their crypto holdings by June 30th. The decree was adopted as part of a country's law on digital finance assets, or DFA, which was made effective on January 1st. According to the decree, Russian officials or individuals seeking to hold public office must disclose their digital assets as well as those of their spouse and children. The legislation refers to general scope of the official establishment seeking to ensure that the government is as compliant with the local financial declaration rules as ordinary citizens already are, but there are also other regulations that prohibits Russian officials from owning any cryptocurrency in line with the country's anti-corruption measures. On December 28, 2020, the Russian Ministry of Law and Labor of Social Protection published an informational letter reminding some officials that they are obligated to liquidate their digital financial assets in digital currencies by April 1st, regardless of the country's insurance. Okay. Very, very interesting. So not too sure why they're being so strict in Russia right now, but we've seen how some of these other countries have done this, not only to their officials, but the public people, telling them that they must disclose their holdings. And it is kind of unfortunate that, they are being this strict in regards to some of the crypto assets too as well. But probably just because they want to make sure that they get their piece of the pie, and that they're going to make sure that if you have any gains basically from these holdings, that they're going to make sure that they can get their piece of the pie when it comes to that. So let's move on to our next article here. Very interesting, though. It is starting to seem that we are starting to see a lot more FUD come into the market as of right now too as well. With the double spend articles that have been coming out yesterday, and then also Jeanette Yelling with the financial groups too, talking about regulation within crypto. And here we have a article talking about the first, the newbies that are basically in the space are experiencing the first volatility swing of the crypto market. A mixture of bearish price chart patterns and ill understood news items combined to the cause of Bitcoin's biggest price plunge since March, and a demonstration to market newcomers to the cryptocurrency notorious volatility. Bitcoin appeared to stabilize above $31,000 after Thursday's plunge, and the biggest since March. A break of 30,000 could have been bad news, but it managed to turn things around. Craig Earlham, senior market analyst of the London-based foreign exchange brokerage, Ordain, told clients early Friday in an email, "We may see a small rebound now, just as we did earlier this month, but the price action we've seen this month suggests there's some nervousness around these levels. In traditional markets, European shares slid and U.S. stock futures pointed to higher open amid growing concerns over the potential impact of coronavirus-related measures in places, including the UK, Italy, Germany, and Hong Kong. Gold weakened 1% to 1,800 an ounce. Market moves. It was one of those days in cryptocurrency markets where at least the bulls for everything seemed to go wrong. Bitcoin price tumbled 13% on Thursday in the biggest market meltdown since the panic-fueled selling the last March, when devastating economic toll of the coronavirus came other clear, Ether, the second largest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin, tumbling 19% just days after eclipsing its old all-time high from the 2018 bull run. The broadened crypto assets market is finally giving back some of the recent gains and what many continue to believe a healthy and much needed market-wide correction, the cryptocurrency exchange Kraken wrote in a daily email. Yeah, and so this does look more or less to be pretty healthy. It could take a little bit longer to expect it to recover from this. Maybe going on into February and March, we'll start to see some recovery. But who's to say that going on into next week that we don't actually start to see some recovery a little bit more? So let's zoom back out here, and we'll go ahead and jump on over into the charts, see what our charts might be telling us too. So let's go ahead and without further ado, jump on over there. All right, folks, so we're taking a look at some lower time frames to start us off with. And the 2-hour chart here, we did have our symmetrical triangle break to the downside. And now we're just kind of getting a closer idea here of maybe some potential recovery. This is our 45-minute chart. You can already start to see that on Cipher B, which is one of our indicators that we pay for and use, it's starting to recover here with the money flow. So yeah, Bitcoin price sitting right at about 33,500. It has had a nice little boost back to the upside ever since it fell almost all the way down to 28,800 or so. But what we're kind of looking for is maybe a quick zoom out here. Looking at the 2-hour chart, momentum still kind of driving to the upside here with Cipher B. So if we take a look at Cipher B, we can obviously see our momentum waves are still in an upwards trajectory as of right now, possibly indicating somewhat of a recovery pattern here. Now, what I'm kind of noticing right now too is that we've come up to retest this green or this yellow trend line up here a couple of different times. We could start to see somewhat of a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern too. So if we are to draw somewhat of a inverse head and shoulders, this does seem like it could kind of play out for us for the most part. And so what we're kind of looking for is maybe some, let's see here, we're going to go from here to here and then possibly make another nice move up over here. We'll probably have to drag this down to maybe, there we go. So yeah, this could be somewhat of an inverse head and shoulders pattern, obviously with a low neckline here for the head, but this could end up playing something out just as of like that. What I'm seeing is that, you know, the fact that we're coming up to retest this trend line so much, it definitely gives a somewhat of a bullish taste in my mouth too as well. That next time we come back up and try and pierce through this trend line, it could lead us up to some higher digits. So but we are still in a little bit of concerning pattern here on our mid time frames too as well. We are starting to see this red money flow start to take action here on such as our 4-hour and possibly even into our 6-hour too as well. Starting to see some big green dots down here on our 6-hour, but you know, this could end up playing out to be somewhat of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We'll just kind of have to reference it and you know, keep going from there to see that. And I don't think anyone else has really been calling for this, so we'll have to keep a close eye on it and see if we end up getting somewhat of an inverse head and shoulders pattern here to maybe play out to the upside. And if we are to draw maybe a measured move here, we take probably from the neckline or our biggest shoulder. Let's see if our neckline, let's see what we get from our neckline up would probably give us all the way back up to $41,000 or so. And if we are to take this probably from our bigger shoulder here to the downside, what kind of move we would get up to the upside, we're looking right at about $46,000 or so. So that could be a possibility. We'll have to keep a close eye on this to wait to see if some of our smaller time frames are going to let us recover as they are. We are starting to see these big green dots down here on some of our higher time frames as of right now, such as our 8-hour, our 10-hour has already given us a big green dot too as well. So we'll have to wait to see how this wants to play out. Our 12-hour still looks like the money flow is still relatively good here with Cipher B as well. So, you know, this was just a great opportunity to more than likely just buy the dip up. There is a possibility that we could still continue down. You know, our break out of our symmetrical triangle that we had drawn out on our charts was also giving us maybe somewhat of a lower price target, such as the lower 20K area. But if we can recover, I would say probably going on into the weekend, and into next week. And if we come back up here to retest this neckline, then that could be a relatively nice bullish move for us to take place for us as well. So this is just something that I just kind of referenced as of right now, and I'm kind of keeping a close eye on, taking a look at the daily chart here. So we're gonna wait to see if we can get maybe some big green dots on our 12-hour. We've already gotten it on our 10-hour, so now we're just looking for our green dots probably on our daily and such to continue us further back to the upside. So yeah, keep a close eye on some of maybe these mid time frames as of right now to see what's going to happen here if we do get this inverse head and shoulders to play out for us. But yeah, this is going to be quite a few retests of this trend line here, and then more than likely that pressure is going to pierce us through and break to the upside. So keep a close eye on that, folks. Let's take a look at the dominance chart, see what's happening here with the dominance. We did have this break to some of our lower digits too as well. Somewhat of a falling wedge pattern here that could be possibly playing out for us. But yeah, maybe somewhat of a downward sloping channel here too as well. So we'll have to wait to see if we're going to end up breaking out of this or not. But right now this looks to be relatively bearish. We are starting to put in some nice trigger waves here on our 4-hour time frame. With market Cipher B ready to push us back to the upside. And folks, don't forget, we use the market Cipher indicator. That is our bread and butter on this channel. If you want to pick up that paid for indicator that we're using, check out the links in the description box below to help support the channel. But yeah, this looks like it's probably going to take some time to recover. But these trigger waves to the upside definitely probably indicate possibly that we could start to recover sometime soon. I'd be a little cautious though. Our money flow here on our dominance chart is still just rounding off. Yeah, this honestly, it's probably gonna take a little bit longer than expected, especially from our 12-hour and our 10-hour. What we're gonna want to probably see is possibly looking at our 12-hour is maybe this kind of clip into the red, but then start to recover from there. So we've seen this big sell-off before when our money flow started to move to the downside too as well, and now we're seeing that same move, money flow moving to the downside, and big loss in dominance as of right there. Now we'll have to wait to see if this money flow wants to recover back to the other side. So it could take a little while, but obviously a great time to keep accumulating during these price fluctuations and movements. Let's take a look at ETH, see what's going on with ETH here, and then we'll also take a look at the US dollar and end it from there. So we'll go ahead and get rid of our fib extensions here, and we'll wait to retest this price target. Probably going to happen maybe sometime in the future, but it doesn't look like it looks like we're probably gonna have to wait to see if that's gonna end up playing out for us. Looking at the 12-hour here, actually this looks to be relatively good for us as of right now. Once we get this green dot here, that could send ETH to another high trajectory, honestly. So I would wait to see if we do get this green dot here on the 12-hour. This could end up sending us back up a little bit higher than normally expected. So I mean, if we draw back our fib retracements, we could definitely start to see another move to the upside here. Even if we got back our fib levels here, we could definitely see a possible move back up past our all-time high for Ethereum. Now, I would be cautious though, if we do end up getting this push to the green dot here on the 12-hour time frame, what we're going to look for is probably putting in a higher high instead of a lower high with our next red dot. So we probably want to get our momentum wave to push past this last high here, and then we'll notice that we'll maybe start to make some higher highs within Ethereum's price. So keeping a close eye on that. Ethereum does look to be relatively strong in support as of right now, but holding above that $1,000 area, which is really, really good for Ethereum. We haven't seen it break the lower lows like Bitcoin has. Now Bitcoin has breaking its lower lows, and that obviously means that the dominance for Bitcoin is definitely selling off too as well, but giving the alts an opportunity to rally here as well. And we've also taken a look at some of our other alts and given our Patreon members a nice little alt trades to keep a close eye on too as well. So if you want to join us in our Patreon page, feel free to check out the links in the description box below. You can join through Patreon if you want to pay with debit or credit card. And if you want to pay with crypto, message me on Discord. We post all of our Patreon posts inside of the Discord page. So we just use Patreon as a payment processor to get y'all situated into the Discord server. But make sure you give me your Discord username so that way I can give you access to our private categories on our Discord server. So yeah. ETH definitely looking like it's probably ready to recover. We got some nice tight momentum waves here on some of our higher time frames, and now we're going to be looking for another push back to the upside, possibly putting in a higher momentum wave once we get our green dot on our 12-hour. So keep an eye out for that. Ethereum definitely has been holding nice support above $1,000, and I have no doubt that some of these alts are also going to continue to rally as well too, alongside with Ethereum. So last but not least, let's take a look at the dollar index value, the DXY. Is this right? Yeah, we're taking a look at the DXY. So the DXY did have a nice little sell-off here. On the daily chart, we're starting to see that momentum move back to the downside. Looking at Cipher B, we had our red dot here. We are getting somewhat of a bearish divergence too as well. So this could send us back to the downside to be a little bit more bearish. For the most part, these higher time frames such as our daily, our 2-day, are definitely not to be overlooked, and that's what we've really been keeping a close eye on with the dollar index value too as well, is that these higher time frames are just showing really red money flow. And as we start to get these rejections at our zero pivot point with our momentum waves, they're definitely going to lead us to lower price targets. So we had a little bit of a rally, and then we're starting to see that sell-off happen once again. So I'm still looking for probably our 88 level too as well to roll over, and this is more or less a dead cat bounce, and that's kind of what it's going to probably play out to be as. So we'll keep a close eye on this. But thanks for tuning in, folks. Obviously a great time to dollar cost average when it comes to Bitcoin. We're looking for possibly an inverse head and shoulders pattern to play out here if we get a nice recovery and retest this trend line up to the upside. We've had quite a few touches on it already, so now we're just looking for one of these last touches to happen and possibly break through it with good momentum and money flow behind it, and we could be seeing some of our higher price targets. So definitely probably more or less a liquidity dump that has happened here. But we'll have to kind of wait to see how this wants to further play out for us as well too. So keep a close eye on that, folks. Thanks for sticking around. Things are getting crazy in the markets right now, but you're on here watching our channel, and I highly appreciate it. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way y'all can be updated every single video that we make on this channel as the prices continue to fluctuate and possibly continue into our bull market rally through 2021. So I will see y'all in the next one. CTO signing out. Peace.